What's happening, team? How's everybody doing out there?
What's poppin'?
What's going on? Hey, here's the first kickoff for us. We're going to be talking about sacrifice today. Roll it into multiple parts and pieces, but today, Darryl and I are going to take a quick look at the body. What were you willing to give up to get, and what did that look like when you were playing sports? What sort of lengths you were willing to put your body through to try and help the team, right? Sacrifice, whatever that might have been that we were calling it back in the day. So I'll let my brother Darryl kind of kick this off. His story is
One
a
of
reflection of
what
it
not
for
to do.
for sure, yeah, right.
So, like, when I think about sacrificing the body, the first thing I think about is when I had my back surgery, and I was supposed to not even do more than a mile walk
Wow.
in the first 6 months after my surgery. I had a wheelchair that I was supposed to be on for a few days
Wow.
before I even started to move on my own without somebody's help. And because I wanted to appear to be strong to my teammates, I literally, after my surgery, the day that they let me out as an outpatient or whatever, I went to practice, and they were having a team meeting at the time. It was actually before practice started. And I got out of my wheelchair and I tightened my abs and I hobbled myself into the team meeting room because I wanted everybody to be like, whoa, look at him and what he's willing to sacrifice for the team. He just had back surgery 2 days ago. Now he's in this team meeting room, and that's how dedicated he is to the team.
Wow.
Dumbest thing I ever done in my life.
Now listen, we say dumbest, and we're joking about that here for a second, but
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy to think what we're all willing to give up at that moment,
Mhm.
the intensity to be with our team, to show this big, strong leadership moment. And then what we forget about is, many of you all probably have the same stories. What comes after? What comes after when the sport is done? It's over with. And what are not necessarily the repercussions of it, but I guess we could kind of call it that, of what are the life altering changes to your body that you're going to endure with your kids, with your family as you grow older. I had one personally myself, wasn't nearly to the extent of that, but my senior year, we're opening up at Auburn. My brother was a freshman. It was going to be the first time that he and I had ever had the chance to play against each other in college. And I tore my quad. I blew it out running to first base, and probably a 6 to 8 week injury, and I can't remember how many weeks it was that I was removed from it, but it was at least half of that. And I remember telling the trainer to wrap my leg as tight as he could. And to this day, hey, Skip, I know you're out there maybe listening today. I have no idea how I ran for you out in the outfield. And I don't know what happened or how it happened, but I ran just well enough that he said, all right, Shade, you can play. And I wasn't the best person for the job that day. There's no way. But in that moment, I just gave it up. And
See, man, but you covered something though, like the best person for that job that day. But sometimes it's like a lot of athletes do it because they are hurt. Like
it's true.
and that's one of the reasons why, like, I put my body through two years of like torment as in after my injury, and I played being injured, and because I, in my injured self, was still a better option than the next man up.
Right.
I was a starter, and I'm running. I can't even get my stance all the way. I can't have full extension when I'm making tackles. Like, I can't throw my 270-pound weight around like I should be able to throw it around. But yet, I'm fast enough, athletic enough to still like perform better and make a better team.
Yeah.
At the cost of me.
Sure. And that might have been my situation too. I may have, but as I look at myself, that person, no idea how I even was running. No idea how I was running at that time. But again, still potentially could be that. So, but we were just talking the other day, Darryl and I were referencing Kevin Durant. I mean, guys, this is in the news right now. It's all over the place. His Achilles injury, coming off a calf strain. That all the experts and medical personnel said that it was, and that he was okay to play in the NBA Finals. Guys, here's somebody that's one of the best players in all of the NBA, and coming up on a large contractual year, and he decides he's going to put his body into this situation, put it all on the table, risk it all for this team that he has this amazing relationship with.
Right.
And what happens?
Blows that Achilles,
Right.
and right before the free agency, and has the potential to lose max deal offers, the freedom to choose wherever he wants to go.
Right.
Now he had, some teams I've heard are like, man, we don't know if we want to chance it on Durant. Like he might not heal well after that Achilles. Like
Sure.
Derrick Rose didn't heal well after
Who's
his
he gonna
injury.
be?
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
it's a big
saying?
time injury.
So this could have messed some stuff up. Like I hope it doesn't. But even more than that is again beyond the game. Like how is that injury going to affect? His ability to move around
He's
as he
6'11",
transitions. Exactly.
6'10", 6'11".
So,
I mean, thinking about that sort of body and that mobility as he
Yeah.
ages, and what extent we're willing to go to on that. Kawhi Leonard just went through a similar situation when he was with the Spurs. Now with the Toronto Raptors, NBA champions, healthy, but they didn't want to hear it, Darryl. They didn't. The Spurs didn't. I mean, how much media abuse did he take? How much press was just always going, this guy doesn't want to play for the team. This guy doesn't want to be a part of the organization. But at the end of the day, the guy was listening to his body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And we got to listen to our bodies, man, because we got to take this thing with us beyond the game.
Yes.
And we need as much of it as we can. And I get it. Like, I think I was reading some research like last year or something. It's about how many injuries happen per year. It's like 3.1 million athletic injuries per year in the U.S.
Wow.
And so injuries are something that we have to deal with. And, they always say that there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. I do believe that you got to play through some stuff.
Sure.
I played football. So, don't tell me that, oh, my thumb hurts or whatever. Like wrap that baby up and let's get in the game.
Right.
So I'm not saying that you don't put your body through some stuff. That comes with the territory.
Sure.
But like to what extent? What's the boundary? And that's what each of us have to determine is at long term, am I going to be happy with that decision? We have to make the decision that our future selves will be thankful for.
Sure.
And
it's a tough place to be as a teenager.
It is.
And even a young adult, if you're playing professionally at the next level, what is
pressure?
That? Yeah, what is that? And again, this isn't to discourage anybody from playing hurt. Just putting that out there as well, too, guys. Just sharing our stories, and I guess as you age and you get into that family life afterwards, and you start looking back and you start asking some questions. They're conversations that nobody had with us. So I think that's the premise of what we're sharing today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My trainer, I actually had a good trainer. He might be in the group, Phil Adler. When I got injured and I was getting ready to sign that liability waiver to come back and play on the field, he told me, and I call him a modern day prophet because he said this to me. He said, "Man, do you want to be able to hold your daughters one day?"
Wow.
He was trying to get me to understand the consequences of the decision I was getting ready to make. Like, yeah, absolutely. And I was just like, whatever, man. You just don't want me to play. And I was stupid then, but it was funny thing is I have 3 daughters now. And like, thank God I can pick them up. Like, thank God, literally, I can pick them up. But I can't pick them up as long as I want to.
Sure.
Because I still got that soreness in that lower back. And it's just like, dang, man, was it worth it? No. Yeah. And I should have allowed my body to at least heal long enough to give it a chance at, rehabilitation versus just rushing out there because I had this pressure from everybody else.
And it's tough because I think, as well, too, we've got the coaches that we look up to so much, we respect so much, and we feel like we're letting them down along with the teammates. I mean, another example, my brother, and it's just flashing to me as we're talking about this, had mononucleosis while he was playing with the Braves, right? And he didn't know it, but he knew he was off. He knew he was lethargic, but he also knew that if he stopped playing, that's an opportunity for the next guy to step in and take his job. So what happens? His statistics fall, right? He can't put up the numbers that he was putting up before, and ultimately he does end up losing his job, right? So, but at the same time, that's, again, we power through it. And again, not telling people not to. Again, coaches out there, nobody getting angry because we're not telling people not to play through, as you called it, through a little bit of pain.
Right.
But playing through injury, playing through things that could potentially be life-changing, life-altering in the future is something we all need to take a little bit better consideration.
Absolutely. And make sure that we're making wise decisions. So, I guess like as a, action point, I guess just think about, if you're still in that game and think about what you're willing to sacrifice your body for. Like, think about the fact that, you're trying to sacrifice your body for people who should want your best interest in mind.
Right.
If you feel like you are not a whole enough to play, if you still are injured and you're not just hurt and they're not okay with that, then possibly they don't have your best interest in
Sure.
mind, because it's not, I think because it comes from this place of like unselfishness, right? Value the team over the person.
All the time.
And I get that, right? But I can't bring all of me to the team if I'm not all of me. So I'm still just as committed if I choose to, sit out another game or two or sit out this season, so that I can bring my best self to the team.
Sure.
And so just make sure you guys think through that situation.
Absolutely.
Recognize that we've all felt that pressure. And it's all right. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
And, just make the best decision. I wrote an article about 5 steps to take after an injury. It's on our blog. You can do a search for it. I think it's great. If you are injured, check out that article. If you know some players, if you're a coach now, you've got students that need this information, players that are dealing with injuries, send them this article. It's a great thought process of, at the moment that I get injured, how do I discern what's my next steps. So check that out. And any other
I'd
comments?
also say too, if you have an injury, and even if you're thinking about, we have a friend, Madison, props out to your girlfriend, that's going to be helping us with SCA as well too. And she had an injury in college and shared her story. Didn't get it taken care of in college too, which is another thing to think about. And her story was, now that she's now dealing with it after the fact. So she's now removed from the sport, removed from the medical coverage that would have helped her heal and get the rehabilitation. Got a blower going in the back now, guys. Again, this is real time. So lawnmower earlier, now we got a blower. But just that experience too, share with you that if there's something that needs attention, and this, you do want to remove yourself from the game, or the coaches or whoever say, you may not have a position anymore, get it taken care of. Don't wait for it. I think the last action piece, brother, that is just, we'd love to hear your stories. We're hoping that there's a bunch of people out there that have lived this sacrifice piece, this piece of giving up your body for the better good of the team, and haven't really maybe given consideration of what that looks like after sport.
Right.
And maybe you're dealing with some things right now. I've got a brother that I coach soccer with, and just watching him move around after playing football, he can hardly even play with his kids anymore because the pain and injury he played through. So if any of you guys have those stories, please share them. We'd love to open it up to the group and start those conversations.
Yeah. How does the sacrifice of your body impact your life, affect your life? Let us know. All right. Till next time.
Catch you later.